These 25 car features are killing your car's reliability faster than you think. Automakers call them innovations, but mechanics know better. We dug through hundreds of service records, recall reports, and owner complaints, and one thing kept popping up. Flashy features that break early, cost thousands, and leave you stranded. From shift knobs that confuse drivers in emergencies, to turbos that die before 60K miles. Some of these are so bad, they're being removed from 2025 models. If you hate surprise repairs, let's count down the dumbest. Let's kick off the stupidity. Feature number 25, Start-Stop Systems. The smart tech that slowly kills your engine at every red light. It sounds smart. Shut off the engine when stopped, then restart when your foot lifts. Save fuel, save the planet, right? Not even close. Each cycle drains your battery, slams your starter, and cuts oil pressure when your engine needs it most. At idle, in traffic, or in freezing temps, these systems crank 5 to 6 times more than normal. Some engines see over 100,000 restarts, far past their original design limits. The result? Early starter failure, dead AGM batteries, and in some cases, your car just refuses to restart. Ford recalled over 270,000 vehicles for start-stop issues in the Bronco Sport. Honda pilots have left owners stranded mid-traffic. And what's the reward? Around $80 a year in fuel savings. One failed starter wipes that out for good. If your car has a disable button, use it. If not, many drivers install memory modules to keep it off permanently, because this system wasn't built to protect your engine. It was built to protect automakers from emissions fines. That system can leave you stranded at a red light, but the next one? It can brick your car before you even leave the driveway. Feature number 24, Over-the-Air Updates. When your car updates itself into a brick. Sounds futuristic, right? Your car updates like a phone. No tools, no appointments, just tap yes and drive off smarter. But here's the problem. When that update glitches, you're not going anywhere. One bad Wi-Fi signal, a weak 12V battery, or just opening the door mid-update can crash critical systems. Your screen freezes, rear camera vanishes, gear selector stops working. We've seen it all. Tesla owners report blacked out dashboards. Polestar and Volvo drivers wake up to frozen HVAC. Mazda warns of $1,500 infotainment failures from corrupted downloads. GM's electric Blazer won't even shift into drive if an update stalls. And Ford, over 200,000 vehicles recalled because one OTA patch broke backup cameras. These aren't rare bugs. They're system-wide failures caused by software no driver asked for. And if it fails, you're stuck with a dealer visit, a tow, or worse. To protect yourself, skip non-critical updates, avoid sketchy Wi-Fi, and never update with a weak battery. Because one bad signal doesn't just crash an app, it can take down your entire car. And the next feature? It doesn't even wait for a signal. It locks you out when you need it most. Feature number 23. Electronic door handles. High-tech junk that locks you out or traps you inside. Flush, pop-out handles look cool until they freeze shut, glitch out, or leave you pounding on the glass like it's 1984. What used to be a $3 mechanical lever is now a ticking software failure. These futuristic door handles rely on tiny motors, fragile sensors, and flaky wiring just to open a door, and when they fail, it's instant chaos. Tesla started the trend. Now Ford, Rivian, and VW followed, bringing recalls, lawsuits, and stranded families. Ford had to recall 200,000 Mach-E's because a weak battery could trap kids inside. VW ID4 owners reported doors flinging open mid-turn. And Tesla? Up to $880 per handle after warranty. And that's if you can get one. In winter, ice builds up, motors jam, the battery dies, and suddenly your car is useless. Or worse, you're stuck inside during a crash with no mechanical release in sight. Here's the fix. Skip the gimmicks. Base trims with real handles are the smart move, and always learn where your emergency release is before you need it. Next up is a feature that thinks it's helping, but the more it kicks in, the faster it burns your car out. Feature number 22. Haptic touch controls. Sleek tech that stops working when you need it most. Haptic panels look futuristic. Smooth glass, no buttons. Just tap and slide like it's a spaceship. But here's the problem. In real-world driving, they fail fast and frustrate even faster. These panels rely on paper-thin sensors buried under cheap plastic. After a few summers, The surface bubbles, cracks, and dies. Heat, UV, oil from your fingers. Every tap does damage. One misfire, and you're blasting seat heaters instead of turning on the AC. And if you're wearing gloves, forget it. No skin, no signal. Glitchy panels control your most basic functions. Climate, defrost, even hazard lights. When they go bad, you're stuck. A Tesla screen replacement? $20,500. Cadillac's SU system? Up to $1,800. And many shops can't repair them, only replace the whole unit. It's why smart buyers look for cars that dropped haptics entirely. The 2025 VW Golf? Back to real buttons. Others carry a stylus just to get basic control back. Behind your grille sits a motor smaller than a deck of cards. And when it fails, it can destroy your engine in minutes. Feature number 21. Active grille shutters. They sound smart. Adjustable slats behind your front grille that close to cut drag and warm up the engine faster. But what automakers don't tell you? These little plastic vanes cause major damage, quietly and fast. Tucked inches behind your bumper, the actuator and motor are exposed to salt, slush, bugs, and debris. One frozen chunk or bent vane is all it takes. Suddenly, your engine's gasping for air. Fans scream, temps spike, and limp mode hits, while you're still on the highway. Drivers report check engine lights, cooling issues, and full overheating under 60,000 miles. The fix? Often $500 to $1,500. And that's if your front end doesn't need to come off just to reach it. Dealers rarely check them, but smart owners shine a flashlight through the grille at every oil change, looking for stuck vanes or cracked mounts. And in snowy climates, rinse the grille area before startup. Buying used? Scan for P059F, the dreaded code tied to jammed shutters. Because this isn't just a fuel-saving gimmick, it's a ticking time bomb for your engine's cooling system. Feature number 20, the fuel-saving belt that quietly destroys your engine. Sounds smart, right? Drench the timing belt in engine oil. Quieter, less friction, better fuel economy. That's what Ford and Stellantis promised. But this genius idea quietly kills engines long before 100K miles. These wet belts break down from the inside. Rubber fibers mix with oil, turn to sludge, and clog the pickup tube, choking your engine of lubrication. Some belts shred mid-drive. The result? Pistons slam into valves. Turbos fail from oil starvation. And engines die outright, sometimes under 60,000 miles. Ford has already recalled over 140,000 vehicles, but the damage? Often over $5,000 in repairs. And one failed belt doesn't just ruin the timing, it can destroy the turbo, crank, and cat in a single hit. Your move? Replace it early, between 50K and 80K. Only use full synthetic oil to slow the breakdown. And if you're car shopping, walk away from models with wet belts. Look for chain-driven engines instead, because this wasn't built for longevity. It was built to pass lab tests. And once the lights go out at the dealership, your wallet's left holding the bill. Feature number 19, air suspension systems. At first, air suspension sounds like a dream. Smooth rides, adjustable height, and that soft, gliding feel over rough roads. But under all that comfort is a fragile maze of compressors, rubber bladders, valves, and sensors. And the moment just one piece fails, the whole system starts collapsing, literally. It often starts with a slow sag overnight, just one corner dropping. That small leak forces the compressor to run non-stop, overheating and frying itself. Some owners see failure in as little as 6 to 8 years, with single air springs costing up to $2,100 to replace. Water in the lines adds even more damage, corroding valves, freezing in winter, and ruining sensors. Drivers fed up with the endless bills often switch to coil spring conversions for under $1,200. Others extend life by draining moisture traps or switching to nitrogen fill-ups. Because one tiny crack? That's how a $5,000 repair begins. Feature number 18, electric water pumps, the silent killer that gives no warning. On paper, it's genius. Electric water pumps aren't belt-driven. so they can cool the engine after shutdown and run it idle for quicker warm-ups. Automakers brag about efficiency, turbo protection, fewer moving parts. But here's what they don't say. When these pumps fail, they don't leak. They just stop. 1 second your engine's fine. The next, no coolant flow, no warning, just an overheating light, and a boiling engine you can't save in time. These failures don't wait until 100K. BMWs, Audis, and even Toyotas have seen dead pumps at 50,000 miles. The culprits? Cracked plastic housings, burned out boards, or a random short circuit. And since they fail electronically, there's no squeak or drip to tip you off. You just cook your engine without even knowing. Fixing it? Around $2,200. But if you wait too long, try $6,000 for a new motor. Smart drivers replace early, around 60K, and never trust a pump that still works. Because by the time it quits, the damage is already done. And if you thought that was bad, just wait until your brakes start glitching before you even touch the pedal. Feature number 17, tire pressure sensors with sealed batteries. Since 2007, every new car in the US comes with tire pressure sensors inside the wheels. They're supposed to warn you before a tire goes dangerously flat. But what most drivers don't realize is that these sensors run on tiny sealed lithium batteries. And once they die, you can't just pop in a new one. When they fail, the warning light stays on for good. Replacing a full set can run $400 to $1,100, depending on the car. And that doesn't include reprogramming, which some dealers charge up to $800 for. Even worse, in winter or after year 7, false alerts and random dropouts are common. Some drivers start ignoring the system completely, which defeats the whole point. If you've had one fail, swap the rest, too. Waiting just spreads out the labor bills. And always use non-metallic valve caps. It sounds small, but it can stop a $3 part from turning into a $300 disaster. Next up, a system that works perfectly, right until it doesn't. Feature number 16, brake-by-wire systems. The tech that fails when you need it most. Brakes are supposed to be the most reliable part of your car, but not anymore. Brake-by-wire systems ditch traditional hydraulics for sensors, software, and electric pumps, all to blend regenerative and friction braking automatically. And when they work, it's smooth, but when they glitch, you've got zero backup. These systems rely on fragile electronics and perfectly timed signals. One voltage drop or corrupt sensor, and you get limp brake mode, if you get brakes at all. Tesla drivers have reported sudden brake loss mid-turn. Mercedes recalled 200,000 plus vehicles after brake systems cut out during normal driving. GM halted Corvette deliveries when modules failed on brand new cars. The worst part? Repairs often require factory scan tools and cost upwards of $3,000. No independent shop is touching it. If you're driving one of these, replace the 12V battery early. Flush fluid religiously. And if buying used, have a shop scan for booster or sensor faults before you sign. Because with brake-by-wire, you won't get a warning shot. And if you think your tires have your back, you haven't seen what Runflats do to your suspension and wallet. Feature number 15, Runflat tires. Runflat tires are sold as freedom from roadside flats. You lose air? No problem. Just keep driving 50 miles at 50 mph and get somewhere safe. But what most drivers don't realize is that once the air's gone, these tires start destroying themselves from the inside. And even with pressure, they ride rough, wear fast, and cost a fortune to replace. They're heavier too, by 20 to 40%, which beats up your suspension over time. Most can't be patched. Hit a nail near the sidewall, that tire's toast. BMW and Mini drivers regularly report blowouts under 10,000 miles, and repairs easily top $2,000 for a full set. Meanwhile, many tire shops don't even keep them in stock. Yes, they save space by deleting the spare, but that convenience often ends with a flatbed tow when your TPMS lights up on a Sunday night. If your car came with Runflats, switching to regular tires and carrying a compact spare is often the smarter long-game move. This next upgrade can trap you in your own driveway with a full tank. Feature number 14, Buttonshift knobs. It looks sleek, You tap a button or twist a dial and your car shifts into gear. No bulky lever in sight. It frees up space, gives the dash a modern look, and feels a bit futuristic. But when that little button fails or the dial locks up, you're not going anywhere. Unlike a classic gear lever with physical linkage, these shift-by-wire systems rely entirely on electronics. One faulty sensor, a spilled drink, or a dead battery can brick your car in park. Some owners report being stuck for hours, and when they do break, repairs can run $900 to $1,500 if the dealer can even get the part. Hyundai and Ford drivers especially know the pain of long waits and malfunction warnings popping up at the worst time. If your car has one, learn how to access the emergency release before you're stranded. And if you're shopping, lower trims with regular levers are often the better bet in the long run. Feature number 13, 8 to 10 speed transmissions, packed with gears, primed to fail. More gears must mean better performance, right? Smoother shifts, quieter cruising, better mileage. That's the sales pitch automakers gave when they stuffed 8, 9, even 10 speeds into sedans, SUVs, and pickups. But here's what they didn't mention. The more gears they add, the weaker the box gets. These transmissions cram 4 planetary gear sets and up to 6 clutches into the same space as an old 5-speed. That means thinner parts, extreme pressure, and electronics constantly guessing the next shift. And when they guess wrong, your car bucks, bangs, or slips into neutral, sometimes before 30,000 miles. Ford, GM, Jeep all have known issues. Some owners report hard shifts. Others, total failure out of nowhere. And when it dies, you're staring at a $5,000 to $9,000 rebuild, if the parts are even available. Smart drivers change fluid early, every 40K miles, and they never ignore subtle signs, delays, shaking, odd noises, because once it locks up, you're done. And the next feature? It takes something as simple as shifting and turns it into a digital nightmare that leaves drivers stranded. Feature number 12, electronic parking brakes. Push-button parking brakes sound like a win. No bulky lever, extra console space, and they even engage automatically when you stop. But when they fail, and they do, it's not just annoying, it can strand your entire car. Unlike a cable brake you can force loose, these rely on tiny motors inside the rear calipers. One winter with salt or water in the wrong spot, and those motors seize. When that happens, your car won't move an inch. You can't rock it free. You can't roll it downhill. You call a tow truck and then pay up to $2,000 for replacement parts and coating. They're also software dependent. A dying 12-volt battery or glitchy update can lock you in park or leave you with no brake at all. If your car has EPB, replace your battery by year 4 and wash the wheel wells in winter. Or better yet, buy a model with an old-school lever and avoid the headache altogether. Feature number 11, smart charging alternators. Some cars don't charge their batteries while you drive, and it's not a glitch. It's built that way. Smart alternators use computer signals to decide when and how much to charge, aiming to save fuel by letting voltage drop during cruising. Sounds efficient, until your battery dies after 14 months. Instead of staying topped off around 12.6 volts, these systems often hover near 11.9 to 12.2, keeping the battery at 70 to 80% charged, just low enough to start sulfation. That slowly ruins the cells, especially in winter. Owners blame the battery, swap it, and the same thing happens again. You'll see this on Ford, BMW, Subaru, and more. Most cars with start-stop systems need pricier AGM or EFB batteries that cost $220 to $450 and still only last 2 to 3 years. If your car trickle charges itself by design, top it off monthly with a home charger, or look into software tweaks that restore classic charging. It's the difference between replacing a battery once every 6 years or every 2. Feature number 10, sealed LED lights. The $3,000 headlight you can't replace. LED headlights sound like progress, sleeker, brighter, longer lasting. But here's the part they don't tell you. Once they fail, you're not replacing a bulb, you're replacing the entire unit. Most modern LEDs are sealed inside plastic housings with no serviceable parts. One bad solder, a little moisture, or heat buildup, and the whole light goes dark. You'll see flickering, fogging, or total failure. And the fix? It often starts with pulling the bumper and ends with a bill between $900 and $3,000 per light. These aren't rare cases. Toyota, Audi, Ford, and BMW owners have all seen full LED failures in less than 50,000 miles, especially in snowy climates or cars parked outside, and warranties often expired the moment the problem starts. Want to avoid it? Stick to base trims with modular halogens, or check forums for common LED failures before you buy. Because this isn't a burned-out bulb, it's a sealed, overpriced trap that turns visibility into a luxury item. Feature number 9, oversized wheels and low-profile tires. Bigger wheels look sharp in the showroom, but once you're out on real roads, especially with 30 or 35 series tires, they become a reliability nightmare. These setups shrink the tire's sidewall so much, there's barely any cushion left. That means every pothole, curb, or sharp bump hits harder, straight into your rim, your suspension, and your wallet. One Tesla owner cracked multiple rims within months. BMW and Mercedes drivers report the same. Bent wheels, blown sidewalls, and no goodwill from the dealer. And when the tire goes, it's not just a flat. These are $200 to $450 each, plus another $600 or more if the rims toast. The damage doesn't stop there. You'll burn more fuel, get worse ride comfort, and even lose electric range. So what do smart owners do? Many downsize to smaller wheels with taller tires after just one bad winter. More rubber, more flex, and a lot more peace of mind. Feature number 8, plastic engine parts. Many modern cars hide a surprising weakness under the hood. Key engine parts made entirely of plastic. Think coolant tanks, thermostat housings, oil pans, even timing chain guides. They save weight and help manufacturers hit emissions targets. But over time, heat and pressure don't play nice with plastic. One of the worst examples? BMW expansion tanks that literally burst at stoplights, spraying coolant everywhere. Ford's old plastic intake manifolds cracked so often they triggered a class action lawsuit. GM's 3800 V6 once melted from the inside, causing full engine hydrolock. These failures don't creep in slowly, they strike without warning, often after 60 to 90,000 miles. And because many of these parts are buried deep, the labor can double the cost. Savvy owners know the move. Swap these parts for aluminum replacements before they break. It's not cheap, but it's way better than calling a tow truck after your coolant reservoir explodes on the freeway. For the next one, imagine your car staying awake all night and draining itself to death. Feature number 7, keyless entry systems. Walk up, touch the door, hop in, and hit start. Keyless entry makes your car feel high-tech and effortless. But what most drivers don't realize is this convenience quietly chips away at reliability. These systems constantly scan for your key, even when parked. If the fob's nearby, say inside your house, the car doesn't fully sleep. That slow battery drain can kill a healthy battery in just 7 to 10 days. Honda, Subaru, and BMW all have service bulletins about this. Then there's theft. Relay attacks let thieves boost your fob's signal and drive away in under 20 seconds. Insurance claims are skyrocketing, and when parts fail, expect $400 to $700 for a handle sensor or $200 for a new control module. Smart owners keep their keys in Faraday pouches at night and use a battery maintainer if parked long-term, because when convenience turns into constant draw and easy theft, it's not so smart after all. Feature number 6, soy-based wire insulation. Car wiring used to be boring and tough, but over the last 2 decades, many automakers quietly switched to eco-friendly insulation made from soy and other plant materials. It sounds green and smart on paper, until something chews through it. Rodents love this stuff. Mechanics across the country see chewed harnesses every week. One Honda owner had to replace their wiring twice, at over $8,000. Even worse, the damage doesn't always show right away. A tiny nibble can trigger random warning lights, dead batteries, or kill your power steering mid-turn. It's not just rats. These new jackets also wick moisture, corrode faster, and get brittle with heat. Mercedes tried this trick back in the 90s. It failed then, too. Some owners fight back with rodent tape, wire mesh, or even peppermint spray. Others just park indoors and hope for the best. Because when a mouse totals your car, warranty won't cover it. Feature number 5, low-tension piston rings. To squeeze out a tiny fuel economy bump, automakers started using piston rings with far less tension than they did 20 years ago. Less drag means better lab results, so they paired these with thinner oils and bragged about the savings. In real life, it's a different story. With lower tension, the rings struggle to seal properly, especially under vacuum when you lift off the gas. That lets oil sneak past and burn inside the cylinder. Over time, soot and heat make the rings stick, and that light oil used turns into a quart every 1,000 miles. Owners often don't notice until the dipstick's dry or the catalytic converter fails. Toyota, Subaru, and GM have all quietly replaced pistons under warranty or issued class actions. Mechanics say once these rings carbon weld, it's game over. Short block replacement can run $4,000 to $7,000. Your best move? Watch the oil like a hawk. The next upgrade looks premium, right up until it leaks, bakes, or shatters. Feature number 4, panoramic glass roofs. They look stunning in the showroom. Huge glass panels stretching from windshield to trunk, flooding the cabin with sunlight. But glass roofs bring more than just the sky indoors. First, they trap heat. In summer, interior temps can jump 30 to 40 degrees higher than metal roof cars. One test clocked 140 inside a parked EV with a panoramic roof, compared to 104 in the same model without it. That means your AC works harder, range drops, and long drives turn swampy. Then there's the weight. Glass is heavier than steel and sits up high, which raises your center of gravity and dulls handling. On rough roads, that weight fights your suspension, but the real pain comes later: cracks, leaks, even total failure. Roof replacements can run $1,500 to $3,000. Adhesives age, seals shrink, and insurance won't always cover it. If you're buying long-term, skip the sky view. Stick with steel. We're down to the final 3, and trust me, the last one might actually be getting pulled from future models. But before we get there, let's take a look at one solution automakers love that almost guarantees you'll need a tow. Feature number 3, tire mobility repair kits. A lot of new cars don't come with a spare tire anymore. Instead, they give you a tiny air compressor and a bottle of sealant. That's the tire mobility kit. It saves space and about 30 pounds of weight, which automakers say boosts fuel economy by a fraction. Sounds clever, until you actually need it. These kits only work on small punctures, usually less than 4 millimeters wide. Blow out a sidewall or hit a pothole? You're stuck. The sealant inside also expires after 4 years, and most owners don't even know it's there, let alone that it goes bad. If you use the kit, it can ruin your tire pressure sensors and damage the wheel finish. Some bottles have even been recalled for fire risk. The fix? Either carry a real spare or keep a plug kit in the trunk, because when the kit fails, it's tow truck time. Every single time. Feature number 2, capless fuel filler necks. You open the fuel door, slide in the nozzle, and skip the twist-off cap entirely. That's the capless filler neck. It's meant to make fill-ups quicker, cleaner, and harder to mess up. No cap to lose, no smelly hands. But this sleek setup hides a messy downside. Behind those flaps are seals that need to close perfectly after every fill-up. A single grain of sand or dust can stop them from sealing tight. Then comes the warning light, a vapor leak code, and the shop visit. Fixing it isn't cheap. Replacement filler necks often run $100 to $220, with labor pushing totals past $600. And if the system fails during a cold snap or accident, it can even trap fuel or spill it outright. Smart owners carry the plastic funnel, clean the flap area every few months, and sometimes add a snap-on dust cap, because one lazy seal shouldn't total your weekend. Feature number 1, always-on electronic systems. Even when your car is off, it's not really off. Features like remote start apps, live tracking, and keyless entry sensors keep waking up in the background. A few decades ago, a resting car might pull 10 milliamps, enough to keep a clock alive for months. Today, Many modern SUVs sip 70 to 150 milliamps part, which can drain a healthy battery in just 10 to 14 days. Leave your car at the airport for a week, and it might not start. Not because the battery's bad, but because the car never truly slept. Tesla's Sentry mode can burn through 8 to 10% of battery per day. Ford has service bulletins about remote apps draining cars overnight. Even a parked Toyota RAV4 once needed a recall because the emergency modem never went to sleep. Smart owners disable unused features, keep a battery maintainer at home, and always double-check what's still running after they walk away. Now that you know which features ruin reliability, don't overlook your AC. Our next video shows simple tricks to make it blow colder, fast. Click here and feel the difference instantly.